What's going on, y'all? Crew, YouTube, I hope everybody is doing good today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Scorpio TV. This is your host, Steph So Cool, and this time I have 5 pieces of food delivery advice for veteran drivers, people who've been on it for a little bit, and people who are thinking about getting into it. Not even really for veteran drivers, because they should know this already, but I've been doing food delivery since about a year and a half. I've been doing DoorDash for over a year. I've been doing Uber Eats ever since last November 2020, and I've been doing Grubhub for about 4 or 5 months. And during that time, I've experienced a lot of stuff. I've come across a lot of stupid people and awkward experiences that I learned from, and that's why I felt this video was needed, because the gig work lifestyle can be extremely simple and it can be extremely complex. It all depends on the restaurant, the customer, the area, the marketplace, all that. So again, 5 pieces of food delivery advice. In my personal opinion, you guys could probably find some better videos on YouTube about this, but these are my top 5, especially in the area that I deal with. Now, some of these may be common sense, some of them may not be, but you just gonna have to listen and find out. And yes, ladies, I know y'all see the shirt, and it does have a double meaning. First thing you always want to do, you always want to communicate with the customer. I don't even know if I'll say always, but most times you want to communicate with the customer. Let's say you're on your way to picking up their order from whatever restaurant you're going to, and you're just in the car driving, and say, hey, text the customer, whatever app you use, text the customer, hey, do you need any extra napkins, utensils, or anything like that? Something so minor can actually make a very big difference, especially considering that it might affect your tip. Because the small things matter a lot. I'm telling you from experience. This person could be going through hard times, and not have any utensils, or all their utensils could be dirty, or I don't know, something like that. So yeah, they might want you to bring them some forks and spoons, butter knives, some condiments, ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, barbecue sauce, whatever it is, depending on the food that they got. And something so minor can turn into something great, especially when you get that tip, I'm telling you. And the person doesn't even have to be going through hard times to want to use the plastic forks and spoons and all that from the restaurant. They just may not want to have to wash dishes. By doing that, it shows that you actually care about the customer and you're not just dropping off their food to them. You also want to know if you want any extra napkins, any utensils, anything like that. Most times when I text my customers that, they'll say no, but thanks for asking. And just about every time I do it, that tip is always nice. Now, it's not always going to happen like that, but it's just a piece of advice. Number 2, when you get to the restaurant and pick up the customer's order, it's not a bad idea to put the restaurant's paper menu or whatever they make their menu out of into the customer's bag if you can. And if you can't, if it's a sealed bag, when you drop off the order, you just put the menu next to it and then you haul out. What that does, in my opinion, is a lot of times restaurants are so swamped with all of their business, with all of their customers, they don't always have the time to go on these apps and update things that may have been, discontinued. It may be a different price. A lot of times, the restaurants are always gonna have their most up-to-date menus in the actual restaurant because they expect people to come in and sit down and eat or order takeout, not always having it delivered. And a lot of times, the restaurant menus have all of the correct pricing, all the correct items on there, but the apps have not been updated, so they don't have the right information on there. So again, something very minor, but it shows that you care a lot, because 9 times out of 10, the app does not have all of the items that are actually available at this restaurant. Something on that mug has been discontinued. When I do that for my customers, most of the times I'll get a thank you. Some other times they'll be like, oh, I already got an actual paper menu of it, but thanks anyway. But again, it just shows them that you care. 3, make sure you keep the inside of your car clean and you keep yourself clean. It's fucked up if you go to deliver an order and let's say it's one of those customers that's outside waiting for you, and it's a nice day. You got all of your windows down, cruising down the street, getting that nice breeze, customer outside waiting, and can look into your car, or you give them their order through your passenger side window or your driver's side window, or you open the door and get out and they're so close to you, you just leave the door open so you can get right back in it, and you got food bags, you got bottles, you just got trash all in the inside of your car, or your clothes are like stained up and all that. All of that matters, dude. I'm telling you, nobody wants their delivery driver to have a dirty car with their food being transported inside of it. I'm telling you. Like, no customer wants to get their food delivered by a guy with mustard stains and barbecue sauce and shit stains all over his shirt and pants and all that. Alright, the shit stains, that was a little extreme, but y'all know what I meant. Keep the inside of your car clean. Keep your body clean. But even if you weren't doing food delivery, you should keep both of those clean regardless. If you don't think that a customer won't report you because of your dirty car or your dirty clothes, you crazy as hell, because these people complain about the smallest stuff, but in their minds, it's big. And at the end of the day, the customer satisfaction is realistically what's keeping you a job and gig work. Because if you get too many complaints, you out. I have some pictures of what the inside of my car always looks like, because I keep my mug clean and I drive an older vehicle. And it's not even because I do this food delivery stuff on the side. I have to have a clean car regardless. I take it to the car wash like twice, sometimes 3 times a week. I'm telling you. It matters to a lot of people. They may not tell you, but it matters. The inside of your car is dirty, leave all your windows up so nobody can see inside of it. Because the last thing you want is a very bad complaint about your hygiene, whether it's your car or your person being dirty or disgusting. That will get you deactivated. Customer can say it makes them uncomfortable. It could be deemed unprofessional. Anything. So don't even put yourself in that predicament. Number 4, always take pictures even if the app does not say you have to take a picture. This one is really only pertinent to like those orders where you have to leave it at the door, but sometimes it won't ask you to take a picture. But even if it doesn't ask you, depending on the area, like if there's a bunch of people outside or you're in a pretty private area, like I would definitely always take pictures even if the app doesn't ask me to. The only time I would not is if it's a handed to me order. And low key, sometimes even those orders be the ones that get people screwed over, because people will take the food out of your hand and still lie and say they didn't get it. Now, knock on wood, I've never had that issue, but I know a lot of drivers who have. You could have delivered a person's food and you don't hear back from DoorDash, Grubhub, or Uber Eats, whoever you deliver with, till like a day or 2 later, a customer said that they didn't get their food. But since you took a picture of all your deliveries, regardless of whether or not it asked you to, your ass is covered. Here's the house. Here's the address. Hopefully you got the address in there. And the food is right there on the porch, on the chair, on the table, wherever they asked you to leave it, or wherever was the safest place to put the order. Gig work is very big on CYA. Cover your ass. Facts, not fiction. The app says you don't have to take a picture. Go to your little camera app, take a picture, leave it at that. It couldn't be more simple. Cover your ass. And the fifth and final piece of advice is to stay patient and show no signs of irritation or being upset. Again, the smallest things irritate customers sometimes, especially when it's either a big delivery or you're delivering to a confusing apartment complex or confusing townhouse complex. It could be normal neighborhood, and it could be at night and you can't see the addresses, or it could just be a confusing area. Do not show the customer any sign that you are irritated, especially if it's a handed to me order, because you're coming face to face more than likely with this person. So if they see that you're irritated, that will damn near make them not want to tip you, or make them tip you even less than they probably were initially going to. But because you're mad, which is understandable because this shit does get irritating after a while, do not show it. You have to fake a smile. You talk all this shit when you get back to your car. Just like when you were younger and your mama whooped you in the living room and you went to your room, closed the door. You didn't slam that motherfucker because that's another ass whooping. You closed your door and you doing all this bitch, and you doing all that. You do that in your car after you've handed them the order. You don't do that shit right there in front of them, because first thing, that's unprofessional, even though it's very understandable. Secondly, this person might report you. Or third, and this is the most extreme one, this person may be about that life and they'll check your temperature since you want to get hot. Bars. Patience is definitely a virtue when it comes to this gig work, because the restaurants will take a long time, either because they're shorthanded, there's a bunch of new people, or other factors are relevant in those situations. If it's a handed to me order, sometimes the customer takes forever to come to the door, and if you just leave it on the ground after they didn't told you to hand it to them, now they're gonna complain on you, and it's a whole lot of BS that all of it can be avoided. Sometimes it can't, but most times the BS when it comes to gig work can easily be avoided. Just be cool, remain calm. You come into the restaurant or fast food joint to pick up some food, transport it to the customer, deliver it either at their door or in their hand. Take a picture if you're leaving it at the door, regardless of whether the app asks you to or not, which most times it does. Get back in your car, put it as delivered, go on to the next delivery, or go home, or whatever the fuck you were going to do. It's that simple. Keep cool. You'll be all right. So yeah, that was 5 pieces of food delivery advice from someone who's been doing this about 1.5 years at most. I hope one of these pieces of advice can help you guys when you're out there delivering. The veterans, like I said in the beginning of the video, most of y'all already know all of this stuff. Maybe you didn't, but most of you did. The ones who've been doing it probably as long as I have, maybe a couple of years, hopefully you could take something from it. And those of y'all who want to get into gig work, hopefully you see this video and it gives you a pretty good idea of what to be expected and how you should operate as a delivery driver. The things that can possibly raise your tip amount if you're going to get tipped, and what can lower it. It's a gamble at the end of the day, but it's cool. It's cool. But yeah, it's game involved. Thank y'all so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you drop a like, a comment, share the video. Make sure that bell icon is tapped so you will get notified every time I drop new content, which I do at least twice a week, sometimes 3. That is all I got for y'all. So until the next one, stay safe, stay blessed, stay humble, Thank you so much for tuning in to Scorpio TV. This was your host, Steph So Cool, and I will see y'all in the next one.